What's up, guys? As you can see, guys, this is an answer to an open tag from Gary at the Last Ranger. He recently posted a video and made it an open tag, invited anybody to answer. So this is my answer to his open tag, the perfect knife. I'm going to go over some reasons why I believe this is the perfect knife. I want to start out by saying this is 100% opinionated. Um, and I'm probably going to go over some boring facts that many of you have already heard and don't give a shit about and all that good stuff. Whatever. But yeah, he asked, you know, everybody's opinion on the perfect knife, and this is mine. This is not the Model 2 that just came out. So just so you know, this is the classic Model 1 version 6. Um, this is dressed in a set of his custom made lasered black micarta scales. These are not available yet. They are soon coming. And I want to go over not just my picks for the most perfect knife, but why I believe this is the perfect knife. This is the best pocket knife I have ever experienced, and I have experienced a lot. Many of you know me and know that I am somewhat a Spyderco fanboy. So for me to say that this is, in my opinion, the most perfect knife that money can buy, that's pretty pretty significant. I want to go over why. Reasons why I think this is a perfect knife is, for one, the size. It's just that right size for EDC carry. I do wish he made a bigger, tactical, slightly scarier looking knife as well. However, this one, the size is perfect. This particular handle shape is the definition of perfect ergonomics, in my opinion. Ergonomically speaking, you can choke up to do some fine work. Would you want to stay there all day? No, it's not like it has a perfectly crowned, big, nice finger choil. However, it doesn't need it. I'm sure many of you can already guess what I'm getting at and why I'm going to declare this as the perfect knife. One, it comes with an absolutely perfect blade steel. Um, as far as I know, unless something changes from about this day, actually a few weeks ago forward, all American Blade Works knives are going to come in Magna Cut, heat treated at Peters between 63 and 64 HRC. Mine happens to be at 63.8. I know this because I had it. I had it punched by Brian at Transparent Knives. So if Rick Hinder is correct, then that means it's probably around 65 because he says Brian's machine's not right. We all know that's bullshit. But anyway, so it's got a perfect heat treat. But that's not where it stops, guys. This is something that I've had a hard time explaining to many people in the knife community. I saw a review today from Lefty EDC about the Model 2, and he was talking about these cool looking lines in the blade. Guys, those are much more than cool looking lines in the blade. These lines represent why I think this is the perfect pocket knife. It's because Peters heat treats these blanks to, like I said, 63 to 64 HRC. Mine happened to come out to 63.8. And then Mr. Martin over at American Blade Works puts them into a CNC machine, and the stock removal is done on a CNC under coolant. That may mean absolutely nothing to you, but I want to tell you why it makes for the perfect pocket knife. It's because the stock removal is done on a precision level that a man raking this back and forth across a grinder cannot achieve. It's just not possible. They can get really close. They may even be able to achieve it once, but they can't achieve it over and over to produce any quantity of knives. Why is that important? Well, because, like I said, once this is heat treated, unlike many other makers, after the steel is heat treated, they push this thing up to a grinder. You see all those yellow sparks coming off the bottom. That is creating heat. Um, this blade, however, is never subjected to any heat after the heat treat. That means that the temper is not affected, the HRC is not affected, the microstructure is not affected. It makes for an absolute perfect piece of steel to make a cutting tool out of. The other thing that makes this knife perfect, in my opinion, is because it is CNC milled and the stock removal is done on a CNC. You can achieve a much thinner behind the edge thickness without the risk of destroying the blank, without the risk of, your hand moving, without the risk of getting the blade, the grind a little wonky, or messing it up and overheating it down here where it gets thin, or every other knife that you make, the behind the edge thickness is different. This one measured at 6 thousandths, guys. 6 thousandths. I'm not saying that 6 thousandths is impossible. I'm not saying that you don't have a knife that's at 6 thousandths. You may very well, but guys, that's an extremely high end custom maker grind kind of behind the edge thickness on a production knife. One of the best cutters on the market out there, the Spyderco PM2. This thing is around 18 thousandths behind the edge. What does that mean? That means that this knife, right behind the edge, where it matters, the part that you're trying to push through material to cut it, is 3 times thicker on this knife than it is this knife. What does that mean? That means that this knife glides through material with zero effort, much smoother, much cleaner than even this knife does. Even if you compare this to a Spyderco Chaparral, still thinner behind the edge, still slicier. You compare this to a knife that has a reputation for being one of the best slicers on the market, the TRM Atom, which I absolutely love. I don't know what the behind the edge thickness is on this knife, guys, but let me show you. Can you see that? Can you see my sharpening bevel there? Guys, that's a 17-degree edge. You see how wide that 17-degree edge is? That is a 15-degree edge. It's less than half the width of that. Why is that? Because this is so much thinner behind the edge. What makes that crazy is that the TRM starts out much thinner. But because of the CNC stock removal, even though this blade starts out a little thicker, which makes it tougher, he is able to remove more material. As you can see, looking at the plunge, you can see how shallow this plunge is. There's barely a plunge there because there's barely anything removed. Whereas this has had much more still removed via a CNC machine and makes for one of, if not the best cutters on the market. It's by far the best I've ever experienced. Not enough people talk about this because they don't know. I can't blame them for not nerding out and having the passion about this knife that I do. But it makes it the perfect knife. This is the Model 1. The Model 2 drops Friday, which will be April 29th, 2023. I do not have a Model 2 yet. And then I'm not sure the exact drop date, but I know by Blade Show there will be a Model 1 with a Wharncliffe blade that I do plan to purchase while I'm there. Looking forward to that. So, yeah, this is my answer to the perfect knife. The action opening this thing is 100% unfellable. It has a medium heavy to heavy detent, but once you overcome it, you cannot fail the opening on this knife. Is it drop shutty? Nope. Never has been. Probably won't ever will be. That blade's just too light. It's just not going to drop shut. I don't care about that. It's got an absolute awesome titanium clip that's not deep carry, and I don't care. It gives me just enough purchase on that scale to be able to pull it out of my pocket without fighting with it. And it's got the world's most perfect opening system, which is the flipper tab. I know some of you are burnt out on flipper tabs, but it is the perfect opening method. Works for almost everybody, whether you're bored with it or not. That's just the truth. So yeah, that's my answer to Mr. Gary over at the Last Ranger. That's my perfect knife. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. Peace. Love you guys.